For our presentation today, we're going to be talking about Uber versus COVID-19 with the slogan, "Thank you for not writing." Here's the 2020 Uber ad. All right, so the synopsis, it's a minute-long commercial called "Thank you for not writing," encouraging consumers not to ride with Uber and thanking the people who have listened. The commercial consists of a small video clips depicting virtual communication and interaction between friends and family. Therefore, the ad does not depict the use of Uber or even relates to Uber's purpose. Towards the end of the commercial, words pop up on the screen saying, "Stay home for those who can't." These words tie together Uber's effort to convince consumers not to utilize Uber during the pandemic in an empathetic way, which is kind of different than what their usual slogan and what their usual vision for their company is. Timeline, the commercial is apparent in showing that the behind-the-scenes tactics are being used to change Uber's output/message to consumers. It also aired during the coronavirus pandemic, where there were probably new approaches to PR based on the changing conditions. Riding with Uber would possibly increase the outbreak to the message to the public needed to be changed despite the real purpose for Uber. Usually they want to promote people riding with Uber, and now they're not. Uber most likely approached this ad with ethos try to convince many to stay home and help others who can't, like in the commercial. Many companies, especially Uber, who thrive off of transportation, so this is very different for them. Public relations objectives, awareness, to increase awareness of the pandemic's impact on Uber and their temporary brand change. Throughout the commercial, they urge people not to ride during the pandemic and to slow the spread of coronavirus. That's the opposite of usually what they advertise. Attitudinal, to promote the functionality of virtual meetings and greetings with loved ones as opposed to in-person interactions in an empathetic way. They're known as a mode of transportation, and by promoting something that impacts the greater good, they will resonate with consumers rather than losing business. Action, to decrease people riding with Uber. Uber would traditionally promote riding with Uber, but during the pandemic, their message to the public shifts in efforts to keep all people safe.
There are many strategies used to accomplish the objectives that were previously stated, the first being connecting to the world through television advertising to encourage the slow of the spread of COVID-19 by using emotional visuals. This is done through visuals of individuals social distancing, self-isolating on important events, kids trying to entertain themselves, and families being separated during this time. Most people went into self-isolation following the lockdown orders, meaning we all could be affected and moved by this advertisement. Another strategy used was connecting to younger viewers via social media and other channels. This was helpful because it is easier to quickly connect through social media such as Twitter, and Uber was able to respond to criticism if need be. Moving on, the tactics used during this campaign were quite straightforward. Uber released the advertisement in the beginning stages of the pandemic when many people were under the orders to stay at home. They released this advertisement that contained visuals that multiple publics could relate to on many different channels such as television along with the internet by using social media platforms such as YouTube and Twitter. The advertisements contained audio and visuals of people connecting virtually, kids trying to keep themselves busy, and individuals taking precautions to stay safe. In addition, throughout the social media platforms, the hashtag #MoveWhatMatters began to trend and played a key part in the spread of the message.
So for our critical analysis and opinions, almost all of the feedback on Twitter was positive, and on other social media platforms, they knew Uber's PR team used popular hashtags and aligns with their new tagline, "Thank you for not riding with us," like hashtag stay home and hashtag move what matters. Opinions. The commercial definitely triggered an emotional response and made viewers appreciate and acknowledge the importance of staying home during this time. They also gained brand loyalty by promoting not to ride with them. This showed that they care about the greater good of the public and efforts to slow the spread more than the brand itself. By putting people before income, Uber gained trust and respect from the general public, and this increased awareness of the bigger picture. Uber also provided real-life scenarios of people staying home and successfully communicating with their friends and family, so that relationships are still possible without transportation.
A few recommendations that could have improved the campaign was to make it advertised on additional social media platforms such as Facebook, for example. While the hashtag #MoveWhatMatters trended on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, it was not found trending on any other social media platforms. In addition, Uber could have expanded the movement the Move What Matters campaign, and continue publicizing the advertisement. The pandemic hasn't gone away. In some places, it is actually getting increasingly worse. The Thank You for Not Riding with Uber campaign was important because it was a service thanking multiple publics for not being used. But this June was the last time the Uber account on YouTube had added to the movement, even though the pandemic is still going on. Discussion questions are, do you think that Uber did a good job at relaying their message through the commercial by using various clips of people at home? If not, what could they have done better to increase awareness? Was it a smart decision to take sides with the pandemic and greater good over the income for the brand, or will the loss of revenue hurt Uber in the long run? Did Uber do a good job promoting this message, and was the tagline catchy enough to spread and relay it to the public? How good was Uber at changing their PR tactics during the pandemic?
And that's all we have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.